Welcome back to the program. I'm Roby Brock, joined by Wes Brown of Talk Business and Politics. We've had a busy week, and you and I are going to just a hodgepodge of news here. There's a lot going on.
We'll throw it around.
Let's begin with Governor Asa Hutchinson announced a Broadband Initiative. Every community in the state of Arkansas with at least 500 people, he wants to see broadband access in there. How doable is this, and where does this money come from?
Well, we do have a $150 million surplus going in. We've got 2 months left into the fiscal year, but I think that's targeted for something else. So, you know, it is doable. I think it's going to take a unit. One of the big complaints about industry is that with our workforce and the issue of having access to broadband has been an issue in smaller communities, not just smaller communities, but just rural areas across the state of Arkansas. So that's an issue. What's going to make it doable is that the private industry comes in and put some money behind the plan that the governor has put in place.
They would have done that already if there was a market for it, don't you think?
Right. Yeah. Well, you have AT&T investing. You also have CenturyLink and Windstream, our own company here in Little Rock, who are rural communications. Yeah, they're upgrading in some of their rural areas, but still some of those communities still are not getting access to that at this particular. You may see it down the road. Of course, like you said, industry goes where it can make money, and sometimes in those smaller communities it's tough, especially in some of the rural areas of the Delta where people are leaving those communities.
You may see some new technology like an Aristotle, for instance, which might do some things with satellite or some
it's going to take some creativity.
Short-term microwave kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, you mentioned Windstream. Windstream finally reported their earnings this past week. It was bleak, $2.3 billion loss. Some of that was some write-off stuff right there.
Right.
They are in bankruptcy. They are delisted from NASDAQ. I mean, this company has got some serious problems, and they're working through them. Do you sense that there is a plan emerging?
Well, they gave their executives a $20 million bonus to put together that plan to get them out of bankruptcy, reorganize, and that plan includes going to their kinetic broadband, which is they're investing a lot in that. But also they have a lease agreement with their former a company that they split off, Unity Corp, and they are going to have to renegotiate that lease agreement. And one of their issues is that that investment, they want to invest more in 5G, and so that's their plan, is to go to more. They of course came from a landline legacy.
Yeah. You think they shed that business completely?
I think that's going to be the big thing in the bankruptcy, where they look at getting rid of all of that old landline assets, and then they're going to reinvest that into more upgrade, like wireless, 5G wireless, and things of that nature, where they can be competitive with the AT&Ts and the Verizons of the world.
All right, we're talking earnings. Let's talk Walmart. Walmart has a healthy quarter. I think everything was close to what analysts estimated there. Maybe a few misses here and there.
I think with the breadth of Walmart, you're not going to see those big jumps in earnings and revenue growth. They're going along. I think their growth in earnings was about 1%, and their same-store sales, which was 3.4%. So that shows that they're healthy. But as all retailers are dealing with the issue of online growth. They have reorganized their business to capture some of that growth and to compete, to be on the same level with Amazon in terms of going after those online shoppers. And that's where the growth is. You at the retail locations, you're going to still see incremental growth year over year, but you're not going to see those broad gains in revenue and earnings that they've seen in the past.
Operating income, key metric to watch for Walmart there, is they're taking some of their money and putting it into the investments to compete on online. Right. All right, lastly, state exports. This is something that a lot of people don't keep a really close eye on, but the Census Bureau kicked some stats out. You were on top of that in a stellar way. We're watching Arkansas's export markets here, and we saw Saudi Arabia jump to number 3 as a destination country for Arkansas exports. Why?
It clearly goes to what's going down in South Arkansas, in Camden and Calhoun County. those economic developers down there have you know, 20 years ago, that community was devastated because of losses of jobs in the paper industry. Mm-hmm. But now they've rebounded with the defenses, Lockheed Martin, Aerojet Rocketdyne, Rheinmetall, all of these big international defense contractors, and they have hit it out of the park. I mean, you're going to see the growth of that industry in that community. Other than West Arkansas and the growth in that, and the growth in Northeast Arkansas up in Jonesboro, this area of the state is the big story in terms of economic development, jobs, investment. I think you're going to see 1,000 for over a period of 10 years as the defense industry continues to grow. Of course, with Saudi Arabia, we have a big deal. The Trump administration has a big deal with Saudi Arabia. You're going to see a tremendous growth, and they are doing some amazing things down there in Camden.
Yeah, and that does not, we still don't have a conclusion yet on the new NAFTA, which would be Canada and Mexico, which are other big export partners there. Mm-hmm. And then obviously we've got the trade wars going on. So there's a lot to watch there. The Saudi Arabia jump was a huge thing, and really key, as you mentioned, was the deal with the arms deal between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. All right, he is Wes Brown. You can catch his stuff daily at talkbusiness.net. He does great work for us. And as always, thank you for being here, my friend. All right. We're back with more right after this.